And now it's time to start the show with Bl'Artagnan, Raw Life, and some girl. This is the Lifestream.
Yes, hello, hello. This is the Lifestream. I am Raw Life. Thank you, Dystopia Bard, for our beautiful intro music. I'm not alone. Some girl. Welcome. How are you doing? How was your weekend?
My weekend was pretty alright. Busy, a lot of work stuff. It's a big week at work for me. Got exams coming up for my students and stuff, so just kind of a stressful time, but all in all, I'm doing alright. How about you, Blind Eye?
I'm doing just fine. I had a family dinner on Saturday, and Sunday was pretty chill, so, the usual, chill Sundays. How about you, Raw? How was your weekend?
Well,
Yeah, Raw, how was it?
I was walking while old. Walking while out of shape.
First mistake.
Whatever you want to call the activity I was partaking in. I was walking and I tore my meniscus. Went down like a sniper and hit me. Knee swelled up like a cantaloupe. Sure enough, went to the dang urgent care and I've torn my meniscus. I don't know what that is. It's a part of your knee. Some form of your knee. And it's torn. And so I'm in severe pain all the time. I know everyone feels bad. You're worried about me, but I'm okay. This is not the announcement.
That's a really good announcement.
So welcome to the live stream. The announcement is I'm old and out of shape, and I hurt myself. No, we've got two cute, huge announcements. Let's get them started.
One of them's already on the stream, so.
One of them's already on the stream. Wait, is it? Oh, yeah. Well, there's the first announcement. I'll go ahead and tell you guys the new time. Starting next week, set your timers. I know everyone in chat has a fucking alarm set every week when we go on. Our diehard loyal listeners, our fans, our friends. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time from now on. So 1 hour earlier. There's lots of reasons, but I'll let someone, our second surprise, I'll let them step in and kind of explain further. Or maybe I won't.
Uh-oh.
I built this up in my head so much. I built it up, and I was so excited. It was going to be a cute. What's up, Dave? We got a big surprise announcement coming. Just hold on. Leaf Blade in chat. Cope Mello, Noti Gain in chat.
This is going great.
I told you guys tonight. Tonight is going to be a great, crazy violent stream. I didn't know that it was going to start with technical issues. But it is. Anyway. So we'll save that. The time is up there. Though, look. New time. Live stream starts 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that'll be the new norm going forward. And I tore my meniscus. So those are the two announcements. But there will be a third announcement coming up later.
Yeah, the other real announcement.
My free draw while we wait. Anyway, we've had some content, and that's where the violence is going to come in. Since we were here last, what do we have? Some girl, what happened most recently?
Most recently. Are you talking about
our first?
Less recently?
Yeah,
first. We got the beginning of a new cycle. We got Kieran from Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles got a BT Plus, as well as the classic rework, LD rework, etc. Leo, the general from Final Fantasy VI, got an LD, and we got BT Plus for Vaughn, and a C90 for 9. Not 9, Arciela.
Arciela. What game is Sierra from? Does anybody know?
Kieran.
What's his
He's
name?
from Final Fantasy Kieran.
Come again? Why would it be spelled that way?
This.
Why would they spell it that way?
Because other languages exist.
Kieran. I'll go with it. We got enough to fight about tonight. If that's what it is, it's Kieran. Are we doing Kieran?
It is actually pronounced Kieran.
Okay.
we can call him Water Boy from Crystal Chronicles.
Yes, he is from the original Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles on the Nintendo GameCube. Classic co-op game.
I'm cracking up. I do want to shout out a couple things. Since we're moving forward to 7:30 p.m. every day or every week, check out the VOD on Blart's YouTube. He puts it up every week. He downloads it, puts it on his YouTube. And Endo and Liz7, some of our friends, they put timestamps. So they put the timestamps of when the good stuff happens. So you don't have to sit through me dying over and over and over.
Wait, but that is the good stuff.
Unless that is the good stuff. But shout out those guys. We appreciate you. Let's get into this event.
You should just have like a timestamp for each time Raw Life dies.
That would be a full-time job. I don't think anybody's prepared for that. Oh, God. This was a story chapter, wasn't it?
It was a new story chapter.
Oh, yeah.
Act 3, Chapter 7, Part 1.
Before we get into the characters and the fight, did anyone not auto plus the whole story?
I read the story.
Okay. So what happened?
A couple of things. So there were sort of two subplots going on here. First, we saw the return of some of the Final Fantasy VII characters. Zack and Cloud both have a compass of light, but Sephiroth uses his influence over Cloud's mind to force him to give him the compass of light. So now Sephiroth has one. And Cisne showed up. On the flip side of that, there's Kefka, who is trying to kill the gods because he's Kefka and he likes blowing shit up. He made like 1 million clones of himself and is blowing everybody up. And they're trying to stop him. But Materia and Spiritus were injured in the process because Kefka stole a piece of Spiritus's power.
What a dastardly devil. I'm playing Final Fantasy VI right now. Don't tell me. No spoilers. It seems like he's not a great. He's not a great guy.
So basically, from what I've gathered from Samegi, is that clowns are evil, Raw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always had a little clown fear. Pennywise from It, scares the shit out of me. So I'm not excited for Kefka. I know that he does some shitty stuff in Final Fantasy VI, but the only part of the story chapter that I saw was Cloud just kind of getting punked out. Super big bummer. He just got punked hard. Like Sephiroth was like, "You're coming up off that compass," and Cloud was like, "Okay, I guess I am." Bl'Artagnan, our friend from the Rift. Has subscribed for 9 months. Goddamn, you're late.
Time.
You're going to be even later next week because surprise announcement. I don't know if you've heard. We are starting an hour early from now on. Our new time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Moving forward.
That's a big change. What brought it on, Raw?
Oh, what have we here? Raw Life's and the live stream's big surprise comes good. Bl'Artagnan, how you doing, my friend?
It's incredible because I've been gone 2 months, and it turns out that during those 2 months I learned one thing only, and that is it's impossible for the two of us to be on a stream together without there being audio issues.
That is true. It's so good to hear your voice. I miss your voice. I miss your laugh. I'm trying to get the stream set up. Tell us where you've been, man. How's it been going? How you doing, my friend?
Well, I am doing pretty great. I went from being kind of a dad in spirit, just making corny jokes and kind of like saying "good job there, sport" to my friends, to actually being a dad with like a real serious like baby child who's currently on our couch and they're looking incredibly cute. I have no idea where she got it from, but I'll just put it this way: the nurse in the delivery room told me it'd be bad form to brag to the other fathers in the hospital about how much better my baby was than theirs. I mean, it was true, but they said it would have been like a breach of etiquette or something.
Yeah, you'll learn. Normally at the playground, I'll go up to the other dads and I'll just like get all brolic on them and like get real close to them and be like, "My son could beat up your son." Don't do that. You learn as you go.
I mean, it's nothing about like violence or beating up or anything. It's not a competition. I just have the perfect child and they don't, and it's just a fact of life. They're gonna have to get used to it.
Very good, very good. It's very good to have you back, man. I believe you'll be joining us on a rather regular basis. That is our big announcement, not just the 7:30 p.m. thing. And don't worry, our boy Blind Eye will still be a part of the crew. He may not make it at the beginning of streams, but he'll be here when he's available. Integral. He's an integral part of the Lifestream team. So I want to give a shout out to Blind Eye for helping us out while Blart was gone. And congratulations, Blart, for coming back. And congratulations, Blind Eye, for being a great, great friend. And we're glad that you're going to be sticking around and continuing to help us out. Our family grows. Our family expands.
For sure. Thank you for having me, everybody.
Blart, well, while you were gone, we did a lot of fights. I died a lot.
Yeah, we ran the show into the ground.
It's still.
I was honestly amazed to find it still here.
It is technically here. And we were talking about Kefka's fight.
You guys.
We
haven't really talked at all yet.
Yeah, we were going to talk about Sierran first. Blart, since you're here, I don't think you greened Sierran. Kieran, I'm sorry, some girl. Did you green Kieran?
I did, in fact, green Kieran.
Tell me about Kieran.
So he got kind of standard C90 stuff. His EX now actually has dumps instead of just being like a 10-second long animation with like one dump at the end. It's still not great, but his LD has got more dumps. His skills also have like once again. I feel like I'm repeating myself because every C90 they do more damage. Got better auras as well. The big change obviously is the BT plus. It's a very much an aura heavy BT plus, big HP cap up. Big difference with him, he also has big brave gains, so 50% party brave gains. Makes him competitive with like Ishtola, Fury, and the other brave gain BT pluses that we have. Mostly though, he just stands there. He is very, very slow. So you just kind of press BT plus and spam LD and skill 2, and then the fight's over.
He's an aura bot.
But yeah, he's an aura bot, got big HP cap up, brave gain up. That's about it.
Well, he must be good if you green him because you don't have many greens. Blind Eye, what were you going to say about Sierran?
I do have to say his skill too for a support is pretty bonkers. That thing has 4 HP dumps raw, and all 4 dumps is 100% AoE to everybody.
Yeah, he can put out damage. I mean, his big damage buttons are limited, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
because again, he is incredibly slow. At least I've always found him to feel very slow. Like my other units are taking almost twice as many turns as him.
No, I agree with that, yeah.
Blart, do you have any experience with Sierran? Do you care? Are you excited for our next general from Gestal?
Well, I used to be a bit like a Kieran fan. When he came out with his LD, I thought to myself, I'm gonna freaking rep Kieran like crazy. Everyone's saying he's gonna, to skip him because Ruda has better orders than he does, and all this stuff. And so I was like, I'm gonna do it. And then in practice, Kieran is good and solid, and I know a number of big Kieran fans who do good things with him, and justifiably so. He's always, and with this BT, it's no real different. He suffers for me of being just kind of, he's solid and kind of just real solid aura bot. He's solid, and that's kind of it. Like he just provides auras and damage, which feels like a stupid thing to say because those are kind of the 2 things you need in this game. But his damage is good for a support. Okay, it's fine. His auras are very good, but he doesn't have a unique gimmick unless you count holy damage for orbs. The reason you bring at this point, the reason you bring Kieran is because you specifically want Brave Game and HP cap on your team. Other than that, he just does his job well, and his job is a job that most characters do. He just does it well, which is a weird thing to say. It's not a weakness per se, but it's if you miss him, you probably won't actually miss him in your roster. If you have him, he'll do you. He's a good unit. It's a very weird kind of analysis.
There's a lot of characters feel like that right now. Not necessarily.
Very cute boy though. Very cute boy.
But if they're your favorite, go ahead. Well, Sierran came with a new LD. I'm playing Final Fantasy VI right now, so no spoilers. But Bl'Artagnan, did you get General Leo.
I did, in fact, General Leo.
How is he?
I picked him up. He is pretty awesome. So, I mean, I guess a little bit of a history lesson for newer players. Leo, when he came out, he was a bit of an elite unit. Raw, Blind Eye, you were actually playing during that time, so you could probably confirm, but he was a pretty sweet unit when he debuted, right? Back during Chaos?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, his big delays, he was doing damage. He was very, very cool. Everybody purpled him. He was the talk of the town.
Yeah, like he was, very solid, really well-rounded, healing, battery, delays, damage. He did it kind of like a mini Aranea before Aranea, I think, or after. I actually don't know the timeline, but I assume he's before just because Aranea was stupid. Plus, he has a persistent strike buff. That's all good stuff. So this LD, he missed the entire Lufenia era pretty much, and most of Lufenia Plus, it feels like. And he comes back with this LD, and I thought to myself, oh, poor Leo, they skipped him. Whatever, he gets nothing. But it turns out he actually has some kind of interesting stuff, because he gets this LD, and it gives him some new party auras that get better if you're attacking a single target. It's good, solid kind of generic auras, and this really nifty effect. It's kind of a weird thing to explain. Basically, every HP attack you do will, so long as it's a single target attack, doesn't matter if it's splash damage, but it has to be dealing single target brave damage, it will deal, for each HP attack, an additional 10% of your HP cap as bonus true damage. In simplest terms, if you're totally maxing your HP damage when you're attacking, it raises your HP damage by a flat 10%, exceeding the HP cap. But in practice, because you can't guarantee you're going to cap every attack, the wonky explanation is kind of how you have to do it. The nifty part about it is it also applies as his call. So you can, this is kind of the next level of like, goofy elite burst phase calls. You can drop that, and I don't know if you've used like maybe a Vaughn or a Terra, even Kieran I think benefits from it. But basically anyone who does a bunch of HP attacks, because that's the trick. It's not about dealing like a big capped hit. It's about dealing as many hits as possible, because no matter how much HP damage you deal on that, like sit up. I mean, if like a Machina unsupported burst plus attack thing where he does like 8 HP attacks in a row, even if he's not capping those hits, each of those attacks would get a bonus true damage component. And it's almost sort of like a percentage kind of deal. And that's pretty neat. I've been testing it out with Vaughn, with Terra. It's kind of one of my new go-to LD calls, especially for like launch immune enemies, such as the ones we fought recently. Great for them, because normally, you'd put a Reigns call on the burst unit, but you can't do that. And you bring in Leo, and suddenly it's a new way to raise your ceiling even higher. I haven't actually used him in the party a whole lot, truthfully, but he's basically just the same General Leo he used to be. His LD delays the target by 2 turns, so you have more delays. He's still very single target focused, but you can switch between the targets, kind of sort of like 7 without the stacks and with more utility and stuff. Sorry, Indo. But yeah, he seems pretty nifty. Did any of you guys try him out, or you just have thoughts on him? Reason you pulled him?
I guess I'll go. I pulled for him. I find them very interesting because, like you said, even if they have splash, like for example, Kieran's case, 100% splash on his Holy Rush strike, that's essentially 24 HP dumps when it's supposed to be 12. And obviously, like 12 of it is based off of, 10% of the damage he did. But the real interesting thing that I found from him, that I don't know if you've messed around with it yourself, Blart, is if a character like Seymour and Titus has follow-ups, and those follow-ups are AoE, but they do it after, let's say you do, or like during a single target attack, it'll actually apply with the AoE attacks as well. Blart.
Did not know that. That's nifty stuff. I imagine there are going to be a lot of weird interactions because it's such a unique effect.
Yeah. So my understanding is that, just to clarify, as long as the first hit of the attack is a single target brave hit, then it'll apply to the entire attack.
Yeah.
So attacks like that, I think Reno or someone used to have an attack where it was like 2 single target brave hits and then like 4 AoE brave hits. With that, do we know if that?
So the example would be like Alize's LD. If you've ever used like her LD call or used her in the party, she does like a couple of single target attacks and dumps, then does some AoE attacks and dumps. All of those will get the effect from Leo.
Or, since you said Machina, if you do his HP attack during burst, since the command you picked was a single target attack, the LD follow-up also gets the extra dumps from it. So it's pretty nifty. I mean, obviously in Machina's case, it'd be extra damage, and I mean, extra damage isn't that bad, but if you compare that to, let's say, Tidus or even Seymour, I mean, the damage is huge.
The thing to keep in mind when doing the calculations is, for myself, I think I'm typically comparing a call like this to, like, for instance, a Reigns call, where it's like, okay, would this be better than just a launch? And a launch is effectively, assuming you got your setup all maxed out and everyone's batterying, refunding, and doing all the crazy garbage time stuff we've been doing. A launch is basically adding 2 additional HP attacks onto whatever you're doing. And so you have to figure to yourself, either this has to be better than that 2 HP attacks, or you're using it in conjunction to get even more stuff. So it's weird right now in this age when everything caps on its own. Like in these last few fights, everyone, no matter what team you bring, you're capping everything. I'm curious to see
who did that.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Blart. Keep going. I just got so angry. Keep going. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Some girl. Fucking damn it.
Of course, it warms my heart. I'm glad to be back. But I'm curious to see how this call is going to age in once reductions come back, and you need to start bringing calls that, like, reduce enemy, increase enemy damage, reduce enemy defense, or because right now you have the luxury to just bring as many things that you can to raise your damage ceiling. Launch calls raise your damage ceiling. This raises your damage ceiling. Lufania Plus, at the beginning of that, you needed to bring things to raise your damage floor. And so I'm going to be curious to see how those things play out in the future. But for now, I'm just having fun going Unga Bunga, dealing 26 million damage in a Vaughn BT phase. It's great.
I saw that BT phase you posted. That was Vaughn, Green BT, and I guess Leo call. What else was it? Were you launching every turn, or what was the?
Yeah, no, it was Leo call, Garnet BT, Ramza BT. What else? Reigns call on Vaughn, and it was in the Seymour IW fight, so that there was a crazy amount of splash damage going on. I think I timed it so that Garnet got 2 of her LDs. It was stupid optimized, but it felt like getting a high score in a video game, which it kind of was in a sense. So that's kind of neat.
That'll do it. Speaking of Vaughn, we got a bunch of characters to go through tonight. We actually got good content, and I'm excited to talk about it. So we're going to move quickly through the rest of the characters who came to this fight. Then we're going to do the fight real quick, and then we're going to get into the next fight. Vaughn BT, he did get his green. That's how you got that 26 million damage BT phase. I don't think anyone else greened Vaughn. So, Blart, if you want to, you're here, you're going to work. You show back up, you're going to work. Tell me about Vaughn BT.
Just got back. My muscles are not what they used to be. Let's see if I can carry the show like I used to.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I've missed you guys. Okay, so Vaughn BT. He didn't get a crazy amount of stuff with his along with his BT plus, but he didn't really need it. What he got is he got a little LD board rework. The key points are he yells a bit more damage and missed last 1 additional turn. So that's good stuff. Dave 8711 in chat, our good buddy Green Vaughn, good man. I knew you were a man of taste. He also got a C90, which the key bit of which is that his EX no longer sucks. It is now a triple casting, or no, it's now a triple HP attack with 50% splash, dual casted. So it's effectively a 6 HP attack plus splash attack, single target still. And it is, it actually will, I've been kind of playing around with it. White Whirl is more likely to cap itself because it has a bigger refund between hits, but if you're getting the capped hits, then the EX does more damage because it's more HP attacks and more splash. So there you go. Did the science for you. You can take that with you. The big news with Vaughn is his BT plus, meaning his BT, which has always kind of been in talks as being one of the worst BTs in the game, being one of the earliest, of course. It's now solid. It's good. It's been brought up to modern standards because it keeps that brave floor effect, 20% brave floor for the party, which is a nifty thing. And then has double duration now, 8 turns, and also gives just a smattering of okay stuff. It gives a bit of HP damage, a bit of brave damage, a bit of brave damage cap, a bit of HP damage cap, a bit of brave gain, and am I figuring? I think that's it, yeah. Which is, none of those stats are, all those stats are, I think, 20% across the board, so it's all, we're not going to talk numbers too much, but most meaningful ones are like, 30% HP cap, 50% brave gain up, like meaty stuff like that. So this is, it's across the board. So it's better. It's good. I'd say that's part of Vaughn's the one weakness I'd say Vaughn has, okay, beside his ramp up, which is admittedly a weakness, is that like everything about him that isn't just damage is kind of, it's there, but it's not like reliable. Like his blind, as you talked about in one of your earlier shows 1 or 2 weeks ago, 50% blind is basically 0% blind. He has 4 different elements in his kit for hitting orbs, which is kind of nifty, except they're all single target attacks, so it's not a reliable way to check orbs on the regular. So really, Vaughn's here for the straight damage. He's incredibly self-sufficient. He's going to deal a shit ton of damage. Yoshi Pasta is going to show you right here. Shout out to Yoshi Pasta. Yeah, I mean, so not spectacular, but totally reliable and self-sufficient. And I think he looks cute with his little collared shirt. I think he looks like a cute little gentleman there.
He does what he does,
nice.
And I would green him, but I gotta say it. No HP damage cap up is just a big problem.
Oh my god! We're really gonna bring that.
So I can't do it. I'm sorry. He's good, especially if he's a favorite like Blart. I mean, this is what I love about the BT. We got to keep moving because we got a ton of content to go through. But the returning BTs, they essentially give people who love that character a completely valid reason to bring them again. Vaughn isn't, game breaking now on his return, but in a perfect scenario, 28 million damage BT phase. It's phenomenal. So returning BTs can become valid again, right?
Yeah. I mean, in his case, I'd say he's closer to Terra BT and further from like a Golbez or an Arden or a Shantoto. This isn't one of those like, okay, back of the kind of back of mind, I guess they'll give him an upgrade kind of situations. He got the goods. He didn't need a whole lot to advance. Like there are people who've been using Vaughn up till this point as their primary damage dealer because he's just had that long a shelf life. So this is just, it brings him up to speed in the same sense that like, I'm trying to think of a good another good C90 example. Like Lena, when they gave Lena her C90, it's like, well, okay, it wasn't a whole lot, but she already was really solid. Same deal, basically.
Yeah.
To address the earlier point that I know you know this, but when we say no max brave cap, it's max brave cap and HP damage cap are the same thing. They just different terminology and different websites. So some people
it's a joke. If you're in chat misunderstanding, it's a joke. Vaughn has HP damage up cap.
There was some confusion about the difference between max brave cap versus HP damage cap. People thought they were different things.
There is no difference. There is no difference.
They are the same thing. Yes.
One last thing. 16 turns of 20% max brave for the party is kind of a nifty thing. Like I know Ursula with her party max brave for is actually that is actually a nifty bit of kind of semi-unique utility that Vaughn can bring to your team if you want to bring like a character like a Cypher or whoever who doesn't have refunds,
right?
And it helps them out. So that's something. Granted, if his BT phase is active, BT's active, he's probably killing the thing himself anyway.
Yeah, I guess my thing with Vaughn, I don't have his BT, so I've only used him LD only. And I feel like this tuning pass feels a lot worse than the last one. He still has the ramp up in his kit. And I felt like with the last time when he got these upgrades before, it was like, he had this 2-turn ramp up, but like his damage was insane. Like he was out damaging basically everyone in the game who wasn't named Tifa. And now it's like, he's got this 2-turn ramp up, and now he does like the same amount of damage as most modern DPS. I don't know. I feel like I'm not totally sold on it yet, but
I see where you're coming from. I'd argue that I think Vaughn's value is the fact that he had way more HP attacks back then than anyone else did, and now they've caught up to that. And B, the fact that he has self-imperil plus 100% HP damage as refund between attacks. I don't think anyone
he's got plus refunds.
So I think those are self-sufficient things that in garbage time when reductions mean nothing.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
I think I think he's going to continue to have a good shelf life. Is my
probably.
Yeah, because I remember bringing him in like a Lufenia Plus, like back then, like when it started and we were doing ones, he was still capping while doing ones.
Oh yeah, no, like his last tuning pass was phenomenal, and I just feel like I from what I haven't used him much, admittedly, but it definitely felt a little underwhelming compared to like how good he felt before.
I agree with you that the ramp up now work because other characters are doing what he does without having to ramp up.
Yeah, exactly.
So I hear what you're saying there. My my gut's telling me he's going to continue to shine when other characters start falling off, but this could just be on fanboy copium, so who knows?
Chat, I mean, he still seems really good. I mean, you're still going to win, but...
Chat, that right there is how you politely discuss your favorite and your favorite's shortcomings and politely have a nice tit-for-tat in a kind way. Coming up shortly, I'm going to show you how to do it the right way. When someone shits on a character you like, you flip the fuck out and you go to personal attacks. So that's coming up in a couple minutes. Vaughn... Everybody likes Vaughn. Congratulations, Blart. I'm happy he got green. Last character that got something on this fight, then we're going to go into the fight, was Arciela, a champion of the EX only era. I used her a lot, loved her with her HP silence. Some Aggie, do you want to tell us about Arciela? Yeah. She got a little C90, didn't she?
Yes, she sure did. You can see it on the stream right now, even.
What call did you bring? Okay, it's okay. Woo, you about to get
it. I tried to stop messing with your calls.
You're about to get it.
Did you like the Mog LD call?
Please don't talk to me. Just tell me about RCL C90. I literally am about to explode. We haven't even got to the part that I know we're all going to fight about. Just, what did she get? What did RCL get?
She does more damage and has better auras, obviously. Her actually HP attack is really good now, which is like kind of an interesting change. You actually, in theory, might want to press her HP plus because her upgraded ones from her stances are like 3 dumps. They're pretty good. The other thing is now she has her LD debuff is applied at wave start. So both of her calls now will nullify enemy brave gains, which is kind of cool. And her LD also extends her debuffs. So you can get even more HP silence. And she has way more skill uses now. So she just does what she did before, but even better. And she does damage, and she has better auras. I think this is a very strong C90.
Did anybody else get her, or already have her and use her? Want to comment on her C90 upgrades?
I pulled for her when I believe she came back with TS BT. She was I think on a banner with 7 LD, and I pulled for that because everyone was talking about her, and to be honest, she was a regret for me. Like, I pulled her during EX, she was amazing. I'm sure you guys remember, even before, like, the bugged passives was publicly known. But she was a regret. I went back in, picked her up, and I even used her in a couple of Lufenia Pluses. I used her in... Twins Lufenia Plus to silence Penelo, because we all know Penelo is a problem. And no, she's great. Her tuning pass now, I used her, I believe, in both Lufenias, her debut and Repose and Quagmire. And she's phenomenal. I highly advise if someone wants like a character that prevents brave gains and even prevents HP damage. Like if we're in a stage like Repose and Quagmire where they spam a multitude of HP dumps, she's a very good option.
Oh yeah, she just shuts both of these fights down.
She's a very good option to have, even going into the next era, which,
Hey, shout out to a new first-time chatter. Ken is the name. Welcome back, my friend. First-time chatter, never got to pull her. I took a big break from this game. Well, welcome back. You were in the right place. 100% non-biased, phenomenal in-game reporting and informational. We'll be here every Monday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Welcome back, and we hope to see you next time. I love Arciela. She was a MVP back in the day. HP silence, any fight that it was not immune to it, she could essentially break. She was one of the TCC challenge. Very often would be banned because if the devs forgot to block or make the fight immune to HP silence, she just completely destroyed the fight. Obviously, she brings more stuff now. She brings stuff to the point where even if HP silence isn't going to be on the entire fight, from what I hear, I haven't used her yet, she can still carry her own weight regardless of the HP silence. So she's not as one-dimensional anymore. Is that fair?
Look, I mean, yeah, she still has the Dispel, nullifying brave gains. Like, there's a lot of good stuff in there.
Yeah.
That's the thing about RCL. I think that I was thinking about this because I looked at her C90 rework and I was like, wow, this is a really good and thorough rework. This feels like the sort of rework they give the new LD character, not like one of the returning C90s. And it's wild because Arciela is I consider her to be kind of a broken character because usually for a lockdown, for like a lockdown character, you look at Kefka, you basically are paying for the HP silence if you're using Kefka because his damage is okay and his debuffs are they're fine, but like you're like, okay, I'm bringing Kefka for the HP silence, and like that's kind of all he's here to do. Everything else is kind of like a weaker version of something someone else does. Eldnarsh kind of there's a kind of a let's call it a skill investment you have to put into using him. Like RCL is very, very kind of easily, almost mindlessly, just HP silence the entire fight. Now she can extend it so it lasts even longer. She gets to refresh uses of the HP silence, so you guaranteed to have the whole fight pretty much, unless they cleanse or something. Mm-hmm. And that's ignoring the fact that she dispels, heals, she turns off Brave Gains now. She does respectable damage with this rework. What else? They tuned up her auras, which they don't do for everyone, but they did it for her, so that's even better. Hello, Excalibur. Good to see you in chat. She's basically a perfectly functional. I mean, okay, her auras are bugged, so they're actually stronger than they should be, but they haven't touched it in so long. I don't think they're going to.
Yeah,
she's basically a good support. You could remove the. Oh, she also debuffs max Brave and speed on the 1 frame debuff, so that's kind of nice for speed down comps. She's basically a good support. You could remove the HP silence from her kit, and she'd still be a good character who you'd bring to fights. And they gave her one of the most broken mechanics in the game on top of all of that. So Arciela is absolutely bonkers, I feel.
There's also something we're forgetting. Her skill 2 before had very little uses. It got buffed, and then on top of that, one of her LD tuning passes is that it also restores the use of her skill.
It's always done that.
Oh, is it? Okay, my bad.
Yeah, LD's always giving her back silence use. But no, she got 2 more skill uses on top of that. So
yeah.
It was the duration extension that it got with this pass.
Yeah, this is now it extends the silence as well, so it's like you really, if you're running out of HP silence, then like you did something very, very wrong.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, never happened to me. Will never happen to me. 100%. Cope Mello with the subscription for 7 months in a row. Shout out Cope Mello. Been with us since the FIFA days. Since the Fortnite days. Shout out Cope Mello. We're going to move on into... those are the quick characters. We actually got 4 C90s with this event.
Yeah.
And that's great. But this is the Kefka fight. The triple Kefka. We've been hearing from JP players for a while now that this was going to be the cool... kind of break the monotony of garbage time, and I am here to die with. I am going to fall on my sword here. This is the best fight that we have had, barring global first events, since garbage time started. And anyone who wants to fight about it, let's start fighting. HP spamming. It's three targets. Kefka has 2 Kefka mannequins with him. They spam HP attacks all the time. At thresholds, kind of like the Transcendent Zombies, he will throw those mannequins at you at sacrificial attacks, and they do big damage. Cannot be evaded. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Can't evade it.
Correct. It is guaranteed.
Yeah.
So, not only are they spamming HP attacks all the time, there's thresholds you have to respect. There's mechanics you have to respect. The orb is very unique. It could be considered arbitrary. I don't consider it arbitrary because this is the best fight ever, and that's my stance.
Ever.
So it's not arbitrary, but it's active player buff. Our special effect level 5 or more. Essentially. You have to get, before the orb pops, you have to get a special effect or a buff up to 5 or more levels and sustain it throughout the fight. Incredibly easy, depending on who you bring. Blart did something really cool where he had Lloyd, and he needed to buy some time until he could get it up, so he used a Hope Call. Anyway, I love this fight. I love this fight so much. This fight... If it was dropped in the middle of a normal era, it would have been probably nothing that special. But because of what we've had, this fight gave me hope. I ran it probably 10 times. I ran it with tons of teams, and I had fun. This fight asks questions of the player. Whether there's ways to get around it, you can nuke it 100% for sure. But if you're not nuking it straight to death, this fight asks genuine questions of the player, and if you are unable or unwilling to team build answers to those questions, you will get blown the fuck up. We'll start with Some Girl. How do you feel about this fight?
I thought it was solid. I mean, I don't think I would disagree that it's like the best fight since the start of Garbage Time, because that's an incredibly fucking low bar. I think I maybe like had higher expectations for this fight than perhaps was reasonable, given that we'd heard that this was going to be like the good fight. Like, we're finally getting good fights again, and I was like, yeah, it's fine. Had a couple things I didn't really like about it, but
yeah. Sorry to interrupt. I do want to shout out Trevoid. There is one big problem with this fight. There appears to be, for certain players, Goose ran it like 18 times, never had an issue. For certain players or certain apps, it's giving hard crash. If you've experienced this, let us know in chat. Happened to me like 2 days after it came out, and it's happening to Trevoid a lot right now. So other than the bug, I love the fight, but there does appear to be a bug where the game will crash. We haven't really identified why. If it's happening to you, let us know in chat. It may help us figure it out. But anyway, Blart, did you run the fight? Did you love the fight? Do you hate the fight? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I liked it. Did what I've been waiting for fights to do again, which is to really ask questions of the player, like you say, present a puzzle that you have to solve for, and it wasn't super difficult to overcome. Like, bring like a Lena, like a tank, debuff evasion, damage mitigation, and a 5-stack debuff or 5-stack buff are all you really need for the fight. But it felt like more than what we've been having to deal with outside of the GL first fights. The GL first fights definitely felt harder than this one to me.
But yeah, they were much better fights.
But I felt that this raised the bar. This felt like it did feel like a breath of fresh air, so to speak, in that, like, it felt like, okay, good. The clouds are lifting. Fights are presenting puzzles again, because that's what we kind of are looking for here, is like a reason to use more than the same 3 characters in a fight.
Right. You actually just mentioned something that I completely forgot when I ran through the fight, and I obviously wasn't playing around. I actually did forget because I didn't bring it in my party. Debuff evasion. Another reason I love this fight. The debuffs in this fight are fucking deadly. They can kill your run. HP damage null. What would you call it?
HP silence.
HP silence.
Yeah, it's HP silence.
It's HP silence. Blind, right? They do some really shitty debuffs, and I completely forgot. So I'm not actually sure if we'll win this run. So that'll be a great start to Blart's second term on this show, because I did not bring any answer to that. Blind Eye, did you like the fight? Do you hate the fight? How do you feel about this fight?
I actually enjoyed this fight a lot. My initial team was Snow, Beatrix, and Lena. And this fight asks for a lot of defense. They want you to tank a lot of HP, which is kind of ironic because the fights back then did a lot of brave attacks, and it was...
Glenn, I don't mean to interrupt, but can we just take a moment and it feels so good to be back. It feels so good to be back.
It's very rude. It's very rude to interrupt people while they're talking. Blind Eye, please continue. Please continue.
A moment of silence, guys.
I've missed Overhead Guy, I've missed Buff Guy, and I've missed Guy, and I got to see all 3 of them in action right there.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was excited. We got Blart back. We got Blind Eye. We got Samegi. The gang's all here. We're having a good time. I'm passionate about this fight. I give a shit about what's happening in the game again for the first time in months. I fucking wiped, okay? Fucking sue me. I'm sorry. Blind Eye,
I missed this.
please continue. I'm sorry.
But no, this fight is all over the place when it comes to pretty much just inflicting stuff to you. Like, they have an HP attack disable, they have a Waka blind, which, of course, that's very deadly. And they spam nothing but HP attacks, and it felt rewarding trying to bring, just defense. Like, my whole team was literally just defensive characters, and the fight was pretty enjoyable. Like the other two said before, I don't think this is better than the Global First fights. But
No.
It's definitely, like, if we take them off of the equation, this is a pretty nice fight overall.
Well, to be clear, I also said that I love the fight, but I also said not including the Global First fights. This is the best fight ever. I doubt anyone here hasn't beaten it yet, but if you are wondering why I wiped, I didn't bring any debuff evasion, but that's not why I wiped. The orb killed me because I didn't get Guy. Guy has a overhead, not an overhead, but he has a buff that stacks to 5 stacks, and I did not get it there apparently, and so I died. But that's a perfect example. I mean, it does. That's why I love this fight. It's not as good as the Global Firsts. I'm not gonna lie. There are a lot of ways to circumvent the difficulty. Lena, for example, my first round was Zach and Lena, and I don't even know who the third was.
Oh yeah, Zach is like so ridiculous for this fight. Zach, he's got the 5-stack buff.
Yeah, he has the answer.
He can't die.
Zach and Lena by themselves,
you could probably do the fight.
Yeah, they completely destroy the fight. So I'm aware of the problems of the fight, not including the bugs. There are some bugs that apparently are really bad, but it's nice. It's nice to have a fight where instead of having to force yourself to say no BT, no friend, no ultimate weapon, no C90, no LTs, no bursts at all to make a fight interesting. All you have to do in this fight really is no Lena, no Zach, and no bursts and no synergy. That would be pretty tough. I did that once with I forget who I did for the debuff evasion part. But
Ignis?
No, I did not do Ignis. But it asks a lot of questions. I did not beat this with Aerith. I tried once with a really bad team, and Aerith's damage has not. Well, it was never great, but her turns are her turns are essentially dead turns now.
Yeah, I think my big thing with this fight is I wish it had either health or reductions. Right? Like,
yeah,
it only has 26 million health on the main target, I think. That's just not enough.
Yeah,
we can do 26 million damage so incredibly fast.
Yeah, Blart did 26 million off of his Vaughn PT plus.
Yeah, no, that would not have been hard for
Oh, it's only 25. My apologies. I misremembered. But like,
it was lower.
You can skip thresholds so easily. Like, it just dies so fast.
Yeah, one thing you can do is skip thresholds by, I guess, like from 49 to 29. If you go before 49, burst or summon. I think some girl did it just in a summon, right?
Yeah, I did it in summon phase, and I wasn't running like a hyper offensive team. So my first clear of this, I brought Noctis, Rydia, and Lilizette. So outside of the threshold warps are guaranteed, everything else I just evaded with Rydia and just killed it. The final turn count was 6.
Well, again, my point is that it asks more questions than we're used to in this era.
Yeah, it's better. I agree.
If we dropped it in the middle of, like I said, a normal era of the game, it would be nothing special. But in this era of the game, I think it really showed some heart. And the next fight we're going to talk about is a perfect example how only bringing HP damage, only bringing multiple targets is not enough to make a fight engaging. Because the next fight sucks ass, in my opinion, and this fight
I have opinions on that too. But
didn't suck ass that bad.
Before we jump to the next fight, I just want to what I had about the Kefka fight that I did appreciate is I thought they were very creative with the orb because it felt almost like an abyss code that you could kind of interact with and manipulate through things like, using Hope Call to stall it, or like, oh well, some characters like Lude have, can meet it, but it takes them longer. It really it felt like an Abyss code that allowed some flexibility, and it felt like it was a very creative use of the Lufenia over mechanic. I felt. If you just ignore it, you auto die, and like you just saw. So like it functions almost like you're not allowed to do that with if you don't bring the right thing. But I really appreciated the design thoughts here, and also that the mannequins ignore lock during the threshold thing, because you got to be more careful than that.
Yeah, I fixed my issue. Guy, someone in chat, Excalibur mentioned Guy has a stacking buff. I didn't know that. Well, I've been screaming from the rooftops, Guy is the best unit ever made. And here's another example of it. Guy is fucking incredible in this fight. If you do it right, you don't fuck up like I did. With one button press, his skill 2, you can get his Wilderness Instincts buff up to 5. So on his first turn, you can actually turn the orb off, essentially, for the rest of the fight. As long as you don't let that buff fall off. So he's great here, not only for that, but his HP, his damage mitigation helps a lot. His damage is not bad at all on 3 targets for a unit that's really more of a tank. But, yeah, Guy's great here. If you have Guy, use him here. Blind Eye, who did you bring? And did you have fun? That's the big question. Did you have fun?
I answered that already, but I don't mind repeating it.
Okay.
I brought Snow, Lena, and Beatrix, and the fight was very good. I enjoyed it. I talked about it earlier.
My second thing I want to talk about in this fight is, give me 1 second and I'll crank it up. The fucking riffs. This fight has some riffs. Y'all hear that? What is this? Is this from FF6? Yeah. What is this? Yeah. Is it a theme or what is it?
This is the final boss theme.
Oh,
you'll get there.
That's a spoiler.
I mean, it's also kept.
Yeah, spoiler alert. There is a final boss in Final Fantasy VI.
Well, I mean, yeah, like you're playing a game that's based off, or like you're playing a stage that's based off of the antagonist of 6. Of course, there's going to be spoilers.
Maybe I'll understand. Maybe I'll understand it later.
Another thing I wanted to mention with regards to threshold warps, another way you can deal with them is kill the ads.
Yeah, the ads have barely any health, so if you get to the threshold and they're alive, they will hit you. If you have HP mitigation, not that bad. But if you kill them and it gets to a threshold, it says he demanded a sacrificial attack, but no one was there. Actually, it doesn't hit you.
I actually want to. The banner for this fight was kind of weird, because I saw in some ways what they're doing, because they got Vaughn and Leo to be like, oh, it's single target fight because you're trying to blow up Kefka. They also give Kieran, who's AoE, so you can do the mannequin killing strategy. Arciela, because they're very HP attack heavy, so you can lock them down. But there's no way, no one on the current banner can deal with debuffs. And this is a very debuff heavy fight. Even if you HP silence them, the threshold attack's still going to go off and debuff people, which I thought was...
Well, unless they're dead.
I mean, that's true, yeah, but I guess... Yeah, I suppose you could just look at it as a damage rate. It just felt unusual to me that like one of the EX characters or something wasn't like a cleanser or like a Lena Ignis type deal.
Yeah, I don't know. So I did a run of this with... I just wanted to see how well the synergy characters play, and I wanted to try out Karen's BT+. So I did Karen, Arciela, Laguna, which just destroyed this fight, first off. But it was so incredibly safe. Like, Laguna's AoE damage made the mannequins were just dead all the time. They never got a turn, as far as I know. And the main boss didn't do anything, except for he buffed himself. RCL dispelled those buffs. If you run full synergy on this fight, you will not struggle.
There you go, then. Okay, guess I don't need.
Where's the debuff? Where does the debuff evasion come from? You just kill the mannequins before.
You don't get debuffed.
You kill them.
They don't attack you.
You kill them before they debuff you.
Yeah.
Also in chat mentioned another thing, which is something I actually did, was I had fun playing around with ribbon strategies, and I guess it sounds like the synergy teams right now have enough or the synergy banner characters have enough buffs that you could just push the buffs off or ribbon your way through the fight. So, okay, maybe it wasn't a major criticism. I thought it was interesting, but it sounds like it certainly isn't, like, crippling that they that there's no, like, cleanser built into the banner.
I'm not sure that we're going to have time to run this whole fight to the end, because we do have a whole nother event and a couple big characters to go over. But essentially, bringing a lot of defense, bringing a lot of HP mitigation, counters, debuff evasion, you'll get through it.
Yeah.
My thing is, it's a cool way of showing that a fight doesn't have to be oppressively difficult to be fun and engaging. I think even if you are just crushing this fight, like, unless I fuck up really bad and drop a buff or something with this team, you pretty much can't die.
Yeah, you would never do that.
Yeah, I would never do that. But even with just this team, you're probably not going to ever die. But you have to still think a little bit about the fight in general, at least in your team building phase. So, you know, it's not that it's incredibly hard and fun. It's just that you kind of have to think about it to beat it. I don't know. We're in a bad time. We're in a bad garbage time situation, and this fight kind of looked like a light at the end of the tunnel. Blart.
Speaking of time, I actually will say it is time for me to bid you all adieu. Y'all in the chat have noticed the earlier start time, and this is partially to accommodate baby's new sleep schedule. So I will see you all bright and early next Monday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern.
All right.
The rest of you have a good rest of your night. I'll catch y'all later.
Bl'Artagnan, back and better than ever. Blart, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Everybody, tell Blart goodbye and thank you, and we'll see him next week.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Blart.
I guess we will head into the next fight, because Kefka's only at 80%, and this is just gonna take fucking forever.
Yeah, it is. This
but
looks miserable.
It's not bad. The turn count isn't even close either. I ran this exact team once, and it's fun.
Yeah, see,
you just got to be careful. You know, don't fuck up the overhead buff. But yeah. So Kefka triple Kefka fight, I think was as good as advertised. Not incredibly difficult, but you got to think a little bit. And
I just wanted to have health or reductions or something to keep it from rolling over.
Trevoid wants to see if I crash real quick, and I don't mind at all because Trevoid is a longtime friend of the show. Trevoid, throw me your team comp real quick. Maybe if we can get a crash. I don't know if it'll work here because this is not on a phone, so I don't know if it'll work. But what's the team comp that keeps crashing? Layla,
Balthier, and Arnea.
Okay, you guys want to see what a real king of this game does? There's Layla, there's Balthier, and there's Arnea.
So it says need to have Balthier go second, have Layla use Hope CA immediately. Okay, so even outlined.
Layla, Balthier, and Aranea. We'll try. I don't know if we'll get the first try, but if not, we're going to have to move on to the next one. Balthier, Aranea is 15. Hit him with that. There's Layla, Balthier, Aranea. Have Layla use Hope Call Assist immediately, then have Balthier AA any times. Okay, I don't know if Balthier will start or will be able to go second, but Layla has to use Hope Call Assist. When I was doing this fight, like the week it came out, I had Layla in my team, and it kept crashing over and over and over. So, like I said,
he was like losing his mind.
I was so pissed. Trevoid. It was happening over and over, and I kept in every Discord. I was like, "Is this happening to anyone?" And everybody was like, "No, man, it's running smooth." But it appears I was not alone. Layla.
You passed Hope.
It's Final Fantasy 13, right?
Yeah, he was above Sid Reigns.
All right, so we'll see if this does it. Did you guys talk about Echoes of Mana yet? What's up, Mino? Mino is championing a new gacha, Echoes of Mana. If you play that, DM Mino Spellgood on Discord. He is a big-time Echoes of Mana guy now. So it's stamina base from what I hear. So all you stamina gotcha people. Layla, Balthier, or Nea. Need Balthier to go second. Have Layla use Hope Call Assist immediately. Balthier went first. We'll try it a couple times, but if not, we're going to have to move on.
No, Layla should push him to... Oh, wait, yeah, this isn't dodgeable. Yeah, retry.
So we really just need Layla to go first.
Basically, I think RNA is too slow initially. Watch her go first.
No, Balthier went first. Layla will go first no matter what. Why is that?
Oh, the Light of Judgment initially is dodgeable?
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
It can miss.
It's a script.
Twice.
It's a script. It's a scripted mannequins then that are guaranteed.
Correct.
Okay. Hope call. Real quick, Tree Void LDCA call, right?
Yeah, it says Hope CA immediately.
Assist. So is it CA or LDCA? I need to know.
Use the base call.
Yeah, just use shell since we're testing this out.
Base call.
And then, oh, either one, he said. What does Layla have to use? Doesn't matter. What does Layla have to use?
Correct.
Mino said if you use Yuffie to toss back the makes HP down debuff, they instantly die. Everybody try that.
HP down.
Everybody try that.
It is in the box description.
So open Balthier AA three times. Followed by any of his skills. 1. Y'all don't take Mino seriously, please. 3 times. Huge if true. Really huge if true. I didn't really think this through, but if this crash works, then the game's going to crash. It's going to take a second to get it pulled back up, but I was just trying to help. I just wanted to show Trevoid in case I don't think it's going to happen because this is a... Oh! Oh, yeah. Shit.
Oh.
Fuck. Trevoid broke the game. Yo, Trevoid, you need to post that in fucking main card. That's crazy. That really
if it's something that's replicable, that's really useful for bug fixing.
If it's replicable, then they should definitely be able to fix that. Shout out Trevoid.
And there's footage.
Friend of the
show.
There's
footage of it.
There is footage. So now we're really gonna get this fixed. Hashtag fix Layla Hope Call Assist Balthier AA 3 times RNA Saga. We'll see if that gets fixed. Anyway, we've got so much fun things happening that we're running out of time and not getting through it. So let's talk about the next event. We got 2 events since last time. We got Intertwined Will. Oh God, here we go. Blind Eye, I want to let you know you're a loved and respected member of this this triumvirate. You're a friend. You're a friend of mine. And whatever happens in the next 30 minutes, I just want you to know I love you, bro. Just this has to happen. Seymour got his Intertwined Will. And
are you still pronouncing it like that?
I genuinely, like, all jokes aside, I don't know what everyone's talking about. How do you pronounce Seymour? Like
Seymour.
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 Seymour. I'm saying it the same way you're saying it. Seymour.
There you go.
Seymour.
Seymour.
People used to joke about his name to me because my name's Blind Eye.
What's the connection? I don't get it.
Seymour. You don't get it?
Seymour. Oh, see.
You're blind.
And Blind Eye. I got it. Seymour. Intertwined Will. Seymour led a bunch of characters through a cave and then attacked them at the end. Is that?
He brought them to an ambush with Zonde.
So he tricked them. That was the whole thing.
Well, he told Yuna that he had seen Yuna's father in this world, the High Summoner Lord Braska, and that he would take her to where Lord Braska was.
Ooh, that's
if he agreed to follow her.
And he was talking very highly about Braska.
Yo, that's low, man. That's really low. He said that her dead dad was gonna be in this cave, and then he took her to the cave and had her fucking ambushed.
And Zonde was there. Yeah, so they just want to fight people because Seymour thinks it'll destroy the world.
Fair. I mean, fair enough.
And his analogy. I mean, you know his analogy about death.
Yeah, the best part of this Intertwined Will was definitely music. I'm a big FF10 guy. Not as big as Blind Eye, but
yeah, it's a very good theme. Hard to argue with that.
This
song... Yeah, so Seymour wants everybody to die, and Zonde wants everyone to die except Zonde.
Fair enough. Well, with it, we got Seymour's. What the fuck am I doing? Who am I trying to find? I'm trying to find the other guy who got something, which is.
Oh yeah.
9. But anyway, Seymour got an LD, and he's a subject of a lot of debate in the community right now.
A lot of debate, yeah.
Essentially, he's got a great LD call right now. I don't even know what it all brings. Some girl, what is his LD called? What is his debuff?
It's got some generic stat downs, as well as the big thing is it's got HP damage taken up that increases as the boss's HP goes down. It's 10% at the start of the fight, becomes 20% at 80%, then 50% and below is 30%, which is the highest HP damage up we can get from our call right now, tied with Kurasame at max stacks. But it's applied by both calls, and his LD call also delays to spells, all that good stuff. So it's a pretty powerful call.
And in line with his regular kit, it's stronger as the boss's HP drops, right? So Seymour's got a buff. Readying to annihilate, and once the boss drops below 50, is it 50? The first threshold's 80, but once it gets
50
below
is full
50,
power.
Once it gets below 50, it changes to ready to annihilate. So readying to annihilate into ready to annihilate. The thing about that is his turns feel incredibly bad. As you can see here, I blued him because I really love his kit. It's really fun. But if you're a newer player looking for advice on who to pull, Seymour's got some real big problems. He's got some huge problems in his kit, especially in this era. Essentially, from 100 to 80, he's dead weight. From 80 to 50, he's not great. From 50 below, however, he is, from what I've seen, one of the best LD-only damage dealers in the game. Is that fair? Is that fair? Blind Eye, I'm sorry.
I could see it. I could see it, I suppose. I mean, there's a
even
couple
if it's true,
off.
but even if it's true, it's still the point.
It's above average. I will give you that.
Right.
It's definitely high end.
It's very competitive. But the problem with that statement is we're talking about LD only damage dealers, and it starts at 50%. So almost any other LD only damage dealer is going to outperform him over the course of a fight. I'm aware of that. I grew up on Final Fantasy X. I was 11 when it came out. I remember waking up before school because I loved it so much I wanted to play it before I went to school. So one of the big fights that he has is on Mount Gagazet. Spoilers if you haven't played this fucking 20-year-old game. And he just
But don't spoil FF6 for him, guys.
FF6 Pixel Remaster just came out like a month ago. So, I mean, am I wrong? I've got a point. It's newer than Final Fantasy X.
24-hour rule, Raleigh.
Anyway, in that fight, he just basically beats your ass. He just throws every fucking thing at you, debuffs, back-to-back turns, just one of the hardest fights in the game. And as a fucking 11-year-old kid, I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, I can't do this. And it was, you know, multiple days of fighting it over and over before I could finally beat him. And what I love about this kit, again, I have to be clear. If you are a newer player and you're looking for a really good value for your investment, Seymour is probably not for you.
I mean, you should pull him for a call if you're new.
But his call could be great. But investment as far as blue armor, like I have done, and all his boards, he's probably not for you. I am aware he has very big issues within his kit. It's hard to justify pulling and maxing and building a unit who is essentially dead weight for half of a fight. But I love it. I fucking love this kit. I think it's so fun. I think it's so cool. I think it fits his character. I think it fits that fight specifically. Seymour Flux, I think, on Gagazet. And it's just, after 50%, I think it increases his follow-ups as well. So every time you press a button, he is just fucking blowing the enemy to smithereens, and it's fucking phenomenal. Blind Eye, I wanna touch base with you. Check how you feeling. Are you okay? Do you want to tell the people that what's going on? You hate Seymour?
Yeah, right? You know, I'm feeling all right. I definitely hate him. He's definitely not a character I really like in 10.
Blind Eye is a diehard Seymour hater, and I'm sorry about that. Some girl, did you pull him? I know Blind Eye didn't, right, Blind Eye?
I have a funny story. I have a funny story to tell you.
The thing about my pulls, I attempted to pull both Leo and Seymour, and I did not get either of them. So,
but you tried.
I do not have it. Yeah, I just ran out of tickets.
Blind Eye, tell me your story. You said you have a funny story about him, because I figured you would, honestly, even on his banner, not even click the free pull button. So I want to hear what happened.
Well, unfortunately, I had everything from every other bag. So on a Friday, you know, was at work, you know, drinking my coffee. I figured, oh, you know what? I'll log into DFFOO, you know, do my free single, right? You know, I'm there sipping my coffee. You know, I do the free pull, and I see a gold orb, and I'm just like, please let it be Kieran's BT, right? Or like a 9 EX or LD, or even like a Seymour EX. I'll take that, right? It was a fucking LD.
Hold on. So, Blind Eye, I've apologized to you over and over. You're ignoring me on Discord because I DM'd you and said, I'm so sorry. I love Seymour. And now, in front of God and all his children, you're going to tell me you pulled Seymour LD?
On the free single, yes. It is currently in my inventory. Not worked on, with Cyan and one more LD.
Wow.
Oh, Thancred. There we go.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So so now I'm really going to go all in. Seymour is great. Here's the thing. If you're a veteran, I just put in chat, casual 775k on skill 1 when they're not even at 50% yet. If you're a veteran and you want to have fun in this game, and you got some blue ingots around, you got some tickets, some gems around, I cannot recommend Seymour enough. His kit is so different from everything else in this game. It's because it's so different. Yeah, it's got some pretty big issues. There's some huge holes in his kit, but as a pure damage dealer, also not even a pure damage dealer, because as you just saw, his LD dispels AOE, and it AOE delays. So he's not even just one-dimensional. This is the fun. I did not plan on pulling Seymour, and I definitely did not plan on bluing him. But this is a story I want to tell the people because it's worth telling. I was going to throw 100 tickets at him because, you know, hey, his LDCA is good. I want to try it. Threw 100, and then some girl who was in the voice chat in our Discord for some reason says, no, keep going. You got to keep going. Seymour's the best. Seymour is the best. You got to keep going.
That is not a direct quote. Hold on.
Anyone who was there, feel free to step in because I see you in chat. She says, go for it. He's so good. You got to get it. So I said, okay, I'll do one more. 10-ticket pull. He came. So I started trying him out. And, you know.
I just wanted Raw Life to run out of tickets.
Okay. Okay. Well, I didn't because the next ticket, I got him. And he was fun. A lot of times in this game, people are so obsessed with the meta, how strong your character is, how good their kit is, which is very valid. If you're a newer player, if you're a returning player, it's really important to be able to objectively analyze a kit for its strengths and weaknesses. And Seymour's kit has issues. It's the 50th time I've said it. But I really love it. I think it's fun. This is a video game. We should have more fun with it more often. I started using him. I started seeing after 50 the way he just absolutely melts everything. And it was awesome. It's huge damage. It's fun damage. The animations are cool. And I'm sorry. I'll die on this hill. Seymour is great. Seymour's great and fun. Last thing I'll say for the 50th time. He's not really great if you're a new player with limited resources. But that's how I feel about him. Some girl, you said you didn't get him. Bandai, you did get him. I'm sorry about that, Bandai. I know that LD will sit in your inventory forever.
Hopefully without his FR or burst weapon later.
Is he's another damage dealer who doesn't have any kind of refunds between brave hits. Or between HP dumps.
Yeah,
he's got a lot of split dubs that are not likely to cap without pretty heavy support of some type.
Yeah. Well, that's enough about Seymour. The fight he came with was his own intertwined will. It was Xande, Seymour, and an Onion Knight mannequin for some reason. I don't know.
Yep.
The orb is to delay all targets. If it's all targets, right? You got to delay all targets.
Correct. You delay all targets by 2 turns in 1 turn.
Okay. And it's only on Xande. So the standard, typical go-to here is just absolutely nuke Xande down. Orb goes away. And you don't have to worry about it the rest of the fight. Seymour does bring some cool stuff. Seymour will jump. He'll jump turns at thresholds, and he'll get multiple attacks as well. So it can catch you off guard if you're not paying attention, if you're not bringing mitigation or something to, answer that issue. But overall, it's really, really a walkover compared to the last fight. Am I correct?
Yeah, I actually do kind of like this fight. It had a lot of good things to it. I wish it were slightly better. But
I would agree with you. And they time shifted a character that actually complements the mechanics of this fight as well.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. But the thing that I wanted to mention is I really like fights where we have multiple bosses who do different things. I think that's a really fun thing, and I don't know why they don't do it more often.
Yeah, that's a good point. Xande, Onion Knight, and Seymour do different things. Onion Knight doesn't do anything. He brave attacks.
That is fault.
He brave attacks.
At the 50% threshold, if either of the other two are alive, he will warp their turns forward.
Oh, that's how they warp. That's from Onion Knight?
No, they also have their own warps.
Oh, okay. Well, on his own, he...
Well, Xande doesn't warp, he just attacks. But
yeah,
Seymour warps and takes 3 turns in a row, and then Onion Knight will warp both of them to the front at the 50% threshold, if they're alive.
So they have a little bit of team synergy, too, which is cute.
Yeah, they do like stuff together. I think that's really cool. I just wish this fight didn't have like health. It also has 0 brave damage reductions.
Yeah,
like literally, actually 0.
Does anybody know what the HP on Xande is? Since he's the only one with the orb, you kind of just want to. Somebody check out this fucking damage real quick. Hold on. Let's just. I didn't even set this up. Just a casual EX.
With Brahms of BT in the party, yes.
I didn't know that it was up. Just casual EX. Let's see what happens. Boom! Oh, that wasn't that much. Damn. It can go higher when you really, really try to maximize it. But yeah, it's like right now. Seymour just got 3 turns in a row. He warped to the front, and he did Brave plus HP attacks. Which, if you're not, if your ducks aren't in a row, man, this fight can catch you off guard and kill somebody.
Yeah.
Also, Raw, you know, Kafka's HP was what, 25 mil?
Yep.
All right, get ready for the drum rolls. This one's
gotta be lower. Gotta be lower. It's gotta be lower.
Well, yeah, of course. There's 3 targets. Of course, it's lower.
It's 15 mil.
15 mil each. Like, it felt like it had some health. I wish it had more, obviously, but like, it didn't feel like Rem intersecting wills or something. It just had nothing.
MFY8 in chat said, Synergy, Ramza BT. We're on. Thank you. Everybody say hey to Becca. She just got home. We're right here. We're right here. Okay, you're in. Synergy, Ramza BT. Yeah, this is a good character. Okay, I'm aware that this is a prime environment for him to thrive. But I'm still gonna take my. Did I not do my due diligence in letting you guys know that I'm aware that he's not great, like objectively not great? I went out of my way to admit that, right? I know he's not great, but hey, it's fun. Did you see what he did? It was like, I'm gonna do. Watch this. Watch how many times. Just how many times. I didn't even hit the Saw's call before I did this, but it's just. It's fun. It's cool. Look at this. Oh, surely he's done now. Nope. That's cool. I'm sorry. It's cool. Some girl, who did you bring? I don't think you went through your team comp yet.
No, I didn't. I think I did this fight twice. 3 times. The first time I decided, since I am now the world's biggest Final Fantasy VIII fan, I ran a all FF18 with Squall, Selfie, and Cypher.
Squall, Selfie, Cypher. Oh, Cypher is so good here. Cypher is crazy.
Selfie also took the orb.
Oh yeah.
Then I did a run with Arciela, Lillicet, and Cypher. Arciela totally shuts down the turn warps since she extends her HP silence to 3 turns. That means that when he takes 3 turns in a row, he just does nothing. Then I did one with Snow, Sync, and Rem. Because Sync can also take the orb.
Sync takes the orb?
Yeah, her on her LD.
My game is going like 12 frames per minute right now. Blind Eye, who did you bring to the fight? If you remember, I'm sorry to make you talk about the fight.
I did multiple fights, or this fight multiple times as well. And my initial run was Jacked, Selfie, and Ramza. And the fight was pretty easy. Selfie and Ramza took the orb, and the calls. Ramza had Warrior of Light, and Selfie had a Leo's call. I didn't bring a friend unit. And then Jacked had Alice, because Selfie was guaranteeing launches inside his BT phase. And the fight, it rolled over. I did get to test out Leo's effect with Jacked, and it was amazing to see.
I'm glad you got to. I'm at least glad you got to bring Jax to the fight and get some frustration out. I just used a call in Summit because I do what I want. I want to talk real quick about a 9. 9 did get time traveled. A whole
2 fights.
A whole week, week and a half maybe. I don't know if you know, I am Guy. I'm Zidane Guy. I'm now Seymour Guy, but above all, I'm 9 Guy. 9 is my favorite character from one of my least favorite games. He's hilarious. All he wants to do is fight and talk shit. And he uses a spear, and he's awesome. I loved him in his original release. Used him a lot. He's kind of like a Chad Warrior of Light, I guess. He's got he's got shields. His C90 basically took what he did already and made it better. Just brought him up to modern times. I used him recently in the Irvine Intertwined Will. Obviously, that wasn't much of a test for even old units because that fight did nothing. But it feels much better to use him now. He's definitely been brought up to modern standards. His Brave shields he puts on everyone are based off damage.
Stupid now.
And they're incredibly thick. I don't know what it is right now. Earlier in the fight, I think with just one usage, I think I was at 650k Brave shield.
Yeah, so
across the
the
board.
Brave shield is equal to 50% of HP damage dealt by that particular skill.
Yeah.
That skill is now 3 AoE dumps. And if you're capping that against 3 targets, that is quite a lot of shield.
Yeah, so I guess I could go out on a limb and say the opposite of what I said about Seymour. If you're a new player and you don't have Gladio, you don't have Zach, you don't have Snow, you're not gonna wait for Snow, you don't have Beatrix. So if you're
not gonna wait,
if you're that very specific player, Nine's actually a good pick. He's really overall he's got. I think they upgraded. His auras.
I think he's a very strong character.
Upgraded his auras, right? So.
I think he got some kind of aura tuning. I don't know what it is.
He's been brought up to modern standards, and he does his job really, really well. He'll protect your party. His damage is obviously not phenomenal, but he doesn't need his damage to be phenomenal because what else he brings to the party is protection. And also, he's just fucking dope as shit. It's the kind of... Think about my favorite characters. My favorite characters are the characters that I want to go to a bar and drink a beer with and talk about football. Fucking Guy. Guy's a Lions fan for sure. 9. He's cool as shit. Look at him with his little cape. He's dope and he's also usable. Maybe not for every roster, but if you need some HP Brave mitigation,
I think he's great.
Blind Eye, did you get 9?
I had him before, like you. The first time he came around, I was fascinated by his kid, so I went in for him. I was around for his LD rerun, which he got LD boards, and then now with his tuning pass, he feels amazing. I'm in love with him. I like defensive characters, and 9 is no different. He does a lot of damage. Like you said, those shields are incredibly thick, especially if he caps on all those HP damage. Phenomenal unit, and I would agree with you. If you don't have a 9 and you're looking for, like this protector to keep your team safe, this is a good banner to pull for 9. Definitely not the other LD, but 9 is definitely a very good character.
I mean, you pulled for the other LD.
If you're a newer player, this banner is great value. Like having a strong tank option in 9 plus a very powerful call. Like this is a great banner for new players, I would say.
Yeah. And that was the fight. 9 and Seymour kind of blow it up. Ramza blows it up even more. His LD hits the orb.
You know how whack the name of this fight is, by the way?
Yeah, what the fuck is that? Respite or Quagmire?
Respite or Quagmire.
Why?
I don't really know what they're going for there because it doesn't seem to relate to anything that happens in this chapter at all.
A Quagmire is like a sticky situation, right? Like a
yeah.
And a respite is like the opposite.
It's rest.
Yeah, so
this is the world of respite for the warriors. At least it was originally back in Act 1.
But could it also be a Quagmire? We never know.
It's just a very strange title. I don't really know what they were going for here.
For sure.
We're wrapping up here shortly. We'll be back next week. Remember, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are moving an hour early every week, so set your alarms. Blind Eye, what is going to happen in the next week? What do we have? Something huge tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. Well, so, they released Seymour, who, he's an okay debuffer, I guess. Then tomorrow... we get an even better debuffer.
Yeah. If you like random chance, if you like gambling on coin flips, Waka comes out tomorrow. Congratulations. Alfinod, who I don't play Final Fantasy 14 ever, could not give a shit less about the character itself. Alfinod,
I like Alfinod.
Alfinod was a chaos legend for me. I had a very small roster. Didn't have a lot of bases covered. Didn't really know what I was doing. But Alphino was phenomenal back then. All the different things that he does. I don't know exactly how his HP poison works moving forward. I know that it kind of slows down the fights, which kind of sucks. But I'm super excited for him. I'm actually gym pulling for Alphino just because I owe him. I owe him so much from the Chaos era. And then is that all we get? Is there a big?
I think we're gonna get the Mayfair campaign on Sunday. Sunday night.
Oh, the Mayfair campaign's gonna have
the expected Freya banner.
Oh yeah,
but it's
and
also
yeesh.
It's also gonna have
we have no idea.
What's it called? A global first event, isn't it?
It might. We don't know that for certain.
Yeah, we don't know, but we know there's an event attached to it.
There's at least a co-op. But every time they've announced the co-op recently, it's come with a Lufania Plus, so, you know.
Phenomenal.
Here's hoping.
Well, don't forget next week.
Required.
Don't forget next week we're going to be here early. We're going to be here 7:30 p.m. moving forward. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us, and we'll see you next week. Adios.
See y'all.
Good night.
All right, I doubt we're actually off because it's...
Did you click the stop streaming button?
Yeah, but